And welcome to In-Game Chat for Saturday, February 8th, 2014. This is Season 8, Episode 6. I'm Scott.
I'm Matt.
And I'm RJ.
And welcome to the show. If you'd like to get in touch with us, our phone number, the phone lines are open right now, 334-272-9228. In fact, we got somebody on the phone waiting for us here in just a bit. That number again is 334-272-9228. You can check out ingamechat.net. For all the links that you need to get in touch with us and, do all that social stuff. You can find us on Twitter at InGameChat, as well as over on Facebook. You can email us, everyone, at ingamechat.net. We are streaming the cam feed right now through Twitch. You can head over to twitch.tv, look for In-Game Chat. You can find us there again. Head on over to ingamechat.net. Like I said, you got all the links there that you need to watch us, to talk to us, and I guess that's about all you can do. Well, you can play games with us as well, so... you can join us in the chat room live while we broadcast if you head over to Twitch. In fact, we got Lavos in the chat room right now, but I can't see the viewer list because it's doing that thing that it's doing for the past couple of weeks now. So,
but
Matt,
I can.
Exactly. Matt has the power of what, an iPad?
Yes.
Yeah, Matt's got the power of the iPad.
Does
the viewer list show up on yours, RJ?
No, it doesn't show up on mine.
All right, so you got the power of Apple.
Free advertising.
Yeah. Because they need it.
I mean, I've got a Mac and it doesn't load on my Mac.
No.
It's so for whatever reason, I guess the mobile app is the only thing that it's really working on. But go ahead and give us a rundown of who's in there.
So far, we got Lavos in there. We got Matt 114090, Nathan 92, Stufu, and Zufu.
Stufu and Zufu, nice.
Yes.
What was the other one? Matt, what? Bunch of numbers?
Yeah, 114090.
Hey, Matt 114090. Anyway, we're glad you guys could join us live. We know the chat room will either fill up or thin out as the show goes on. But if you pop in, you need to say hello in the chat room, at least so that I know you're there and everybody else knows that you guys are actually in the chat room. Because, again, my thing that shows me what the viewers are, I can't see. So, anyway, welcome to the show. And nothing really on the docket here to talk about. If you guys want to call in and throw in some ideas of what to talk about, you are more than welcome to do so. We're going to talk about The Wolf Among Us, but RJ has not played Episode 2, and Matt has not played Episode 1 or Episode 2.
I started one. I just haven't finished it.
Well, I'm not going to give any spoiler stuff. There really is
no
point in doing that since all of us haven't played it. And hopefully, I know you're not going to be here next week.
No.
What about the week after that? You'll be back?
I should be, yes.
Yeah, James will be back that week as well, and hopefully we'll have more people who have played Episode 2, and we can talk about it. I will talk about the technical aspect of it, which is I had problems on the PC when I went to play it. I loaded it up, and I got nothing but I got the audio, but a black screen.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't figure out what was going on.
I had problems similar to that with Episode 1. Whenever I had my gamepad plugged
You're on
in,
PC on this?
on the PC,
Yeah,
on
okay.
Steam.
Mm-hmm.
When I had my gamepad plugged in, it would crash the desktop every single time. But if I disconnect the gamepad, then it would be okay.
Is this a Xbox pad you have?
That's weird.
Yeah.
So when you disconnected the gamepad, it worked?
Yeah.
Like you couldn't you couldn't see it? Or?
Yeah, it was completely black, then it crashed the desktop.
So unplugging the gamepad worked for you?
Yes.
That is weird.
Yes. Maybe there's some kind of conflict. But it's the same engine that Telltale's been using for their other games.
Well, yeah, but you've got a 360 gamepad. I got a 360 gamepad. I didn't have a problem with that at all. I never had that issue.
Because I use the gamepad in the
you
other
have
games.
The Walking Dead. You had no
Yeah,
problem with
Walking
that either?
Dead, yeah.
That's weird.
Have you tried doing that? Unplugging it?
No. I got it right. I mean, I just did Alt-Enter, put it in window mode.
Oh.
Yeah, I put it in window mode and I got visual, and then I had to. It had reverted the game settings back to some default. So 800 by 600 was the resolution, and it was horrible. And I had to make switches. You know, I had to change all that, reapply, log out, log back in, go in, and so it took a little while to get it fixed. But that was my only issue, was that it reverted everything back to default settings as far as my resolution.
I haven't looked at a screen in 800 by 600 in so long.
Yeah.
I'd be afraid of what it looks like.
I don't know why it did that, but yeah. So.
Yeah, it's only this. It appears to be only this game for the Telltale.
Telltale
ones.
has a lot of problems. I mean, there was a lot of issues with Walking Dead, and then there were a lot of issues with Walking Dead Season 2.
Actually, I've had some issues with the original
You have.
Walking Dead.
I remember you
and
had
I
a
remember
lot.
I had to totally just wipe it from my computer and reinstall it.
Yeah. So I'm not exactly sure what's going on.
They need a new engine.
Well, I agree, but I think they need to work on their engine to make sure that it's optimized. Or there were a number of issues on the 360. On the 360 side of things, there were a number of issues. So many that they started issuing free episode downloads to some people who were having problems.
Oh wow!
I do not know what the specifics of what the console problems were, but it was still in relation to just a buggy mess that they were having with that.
I did pick up The Walking Dead on my Vita a while back ago, and while I was away in Louisiana, and it works fine on there.
Yeah.
So
Anybody played it on their mobile devices?
no.
No.
Maybe somebody in the chat room has. Who knows? But I see Seer Lecon showed up.
Hello.
Welcome to episode 301. Yes, this is episode 301. He said the same happened to him on Walking Dead on PC. He had to run in Vista compatibility mode just to get it to run. He can't see himself buying Wolf or Walking Dead episode 2 or season 2 on PC. Why does it screw up so much? I don't know. I really don't know. It's odd because, I mean, let's face it, their engine's not really pushing the envelope of
Anything.
of looks or anything like that. It does look great. It's very beautiful, but
It's not
it's
something that the console or anything else can't handle.
I know. Put in the game that you want to show off what your system can do, and it runs without a hitch. And then you put in something like this, and it has a problem. And I mean, I blame it on the engine stuff or on the optimization of their engine. Don't know if that's the case. Might be. Don't know. But something needs to be fixed. So Zufu wanted to talk about the Metal Gear Solid demo price.
Oh, Ground Zeroes?
Yeah. Do we all know what that is?
Yeah.
Matt's aware. RJ, are you?
A price for a demo?
Well, okay.
It's supposed to be.
There's
yeah.
We should probably start there. And Steven is on the line wanting to talk to us, and I know he is eager to get on the phone. We're eager to get to him, but Steven, if you want to hang on and keep listening, he is
Just a
listening
sec.
through the he's on hold and he can listen to the show there. So I don't want to keep him too long, but we want to talk. I tell you what, let's see what you can find on the Metal Gear Solid stuff. Use your phone, look up that stuff so you can catch up with the story, and then let's go ahead and go to Steven.
Yeah. It's called Ground Zeroes.
Right.
Yeah, Metal Gear Solid Ground Zeroes. Let me put Steven on. I can't from there, but I can from here. Steven, you there?
Hello, gentlemen. How are you doing this evening?
Hey,
Good. How you doing?
Gentleman. Classed up the joint. Hey, man.
I feel like I need to be in a tie or something.
You actually are pretty much over. I mean, even though you're in your 501st, I don't know if that's your uniform or what
Nah,
is that your
it's-
civvies
Well,
for the
it's,
501st?
it's just our garrison jacket. I just came from an event up north in Birmingham where we're doing a charity event. In fact, I'm going to go back there tomorrow and dress up some more.
This is the dedication this guy's got. We have a show tonight, and he drove from Birmingham, which is about an hour. Well,
hour and a half.
it's about an hour and a half. I live 30
follow
minutes.
rules.
I live 30 minutes closer from where I work. But
Yeah.
so it's about an hour and a half from here. So he drove back from Birmingham to make the show tonight, and then he's going to go back after the show. So dedication on this guy's part. I know that sometimes you can't make the show, and when you can't, we hate it. But
Yeah.
when you do stuff like this, man, good job.
Thank you.
Anyway, Stephen, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
You're calling us from. Where are you calling from?
Illinois.
And now, how did you? I got your. You and I are friends on Xbox Live, right?
Correct.
Yeah, we are. I don't use it a lot. I don't use my Xbox One a lot, except to
Yeah.
watch the TV with, because it's all.
Well, I actually met you and James playing Halo Reach, and I believe Halo 2 also, multiplayer quite a bit.
Wow.
Okay.
That's going back.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I believe one night we played Halo Reach, and I think we beat the campaign together.
What's your?
Yeah. What is your? If you want to throw it out there, throw out your gamer tag.
I don't want to do that if we're going to talk about the Titanfall alpha.
Okay, then never mind.
Then you don't want to do that. You are exactly right.
Mysterious person fine.
Titanfall Bob is called back. Or Bob Titanfall is what we called him. Bob
Yeah.
Titanfall is called back. No, this is Steven, and he's calling from Illinois, and he wants to talk about the Titanfall Alpha, but we were trying to catch up with each other. I know his gamer tag. I'll let Matt know what it
Okay.
is.
'Cause I've probably played, some.
Yeah, during
also
a
with
break or
Reach
something.
and-
Do you have Matt on your friends list?
I don't. I might and I might not. I'm not sure.
Do you want to throw yours out there, Matt?
Yeah, my PSN and also Xbox gamer tag is Bullet Food, all one word, bullet and food together. Bullet Food.
I'll just look it up through Scott's.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, you can do it that way too. I forgot about that. I think I've got that setting on there, but
I look like a TIE pilot.
yeah. So wow, man.
Yeah,
Did we-
that's a while.
So we played Reach, and then we played Halo 2. Have we played anything else?
Borderlands a little bit, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Man.
That has been a bit.
Yeah, man, it's been a while. Well, thanks for listening and thanks for playing with us. So you want to talk about Titanfall?
Yeah, and I'd love to talk about, if you want to, a little bit about Tomb Raider, and I'd love to talk about my experience with the Xbox One.
Okay.
Well, let's go ahead and let's hit up Titanfall first. You got
Okay.
into the alpha.
Yes, I did.
Let me ask you: were you an owner of Battlefield 4 for the Xbox One?
Yeah, I was.
Okay.
I swear, I think that's how you get in.
Yeah.
I probably that, or the fact that I think I've played every EA game that's ever came out for both the systems. Yeah.
Well, I don't, because I picked them up on usually on most of my games I'll either go PC with them. I mean, like for something like Battlefield, man, I went PC with it,
Yeah.
and have my regrets obviously, but for the most part, if it's looking good and it's got some multiplayer to it, I'm probably going PC, which is probably where I sit with Titanfall. However, it's all going to be dependent on where I see a bunch of people playing, because Titanfall is such a multiplayer-centric type of title. I have played
Yeah.
Titanfall at PAX, and while I've said this before on the show, it doesn't feel like a next-gen title. It didn't feel like, hey, look how beautiful this thing looks. It looks great. It does. But the thing that pulled me into that was the gameplay. I just had a ton of fun playing that game. That I didn't care what it looked like, or that it just wasn't bad enough for me to care, or good enough for me to care. It was just sort of, this feels like it felt like a 360 title, but it was just so much fun to play. So what
I think it's the innovation of it that you enjoy.
perhaps
It's something different.
What is the innovation to you?
I think the thing that I was most surprised with, I was really concerned with the pilots and the Titans being such different characters in the game. I mean, size-wise.
Right. You got
And I
your
was wondering how
giants
that was
and
going to
your
work,
you got your giants and your squishies.
basically.
Yeah.
But I felt like the whole time I played, I was just as strong, or I could do just as well without the Titan taking Titans out.
Well, I mean, there's and how they do this, and again, I need to play it more than just my, I think 6 minutes or so that I played it at PAX, which is how long you got to do a round, to really kind of go in depth with it. But there has to be a balance with that. I mean, obviously, if everybody and Bob Titanfall, when he called in, said that he noticed during the alpha that at the beginning of a match, everybody they just ran and hid because they were waiting for their 2 minutes to be up so their mech could drop.
And I did not notice that. When I got in right as the beta started, and I got pretty lucky. I got in with a group of 4 guys. I didn't know who they were, and me and the other 4 guys pretty much stayed on for almost, I guess, probably 12 hours straight playing.
Yeah.
So we learned teamwork and stuff, but I would notice more that people would try to run out and pretty much a firefight right off the start, because the more points you get right away, you get your Titan sooner.
Yeah, you do. The more kills you get, the more kill streaks you make, the time on your Titan gets cut down and cut down and cut down. So that's something I noticed when I played that little bit of it at PAX that I did. But it was again, it goes back. You've got to have a balance of the mechs have to have some weakness. I mean, obviously, as a human, you've got the speed and the agility to move around the world. As a mech, you've got the firepower and the
Armor.
durability
Yeah.
to withstand the firepowers from the squishies. Except all the human opponents, and I want to stress, I'm not differentiating between AI and human. I'm just saying the human characters in the game. They all have, what is it, anti-Titanfall or anti-Titan weapons?
Every one of them does, and each one's a little different. Some are stronger than others. Some are more rapid fire than others. I think in the beta there was only two types. There was like a rocket launcher, and then there was like a rocket launcher that would shoot multiple missiles really fast.
Yeah.
Okay, but probably less powerful.
Yeah, but a lot less powerful. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
But that one was kind of fun with the multi-shot one. You could use that on the human players, which would basically obliterate
right.
them.
So you can do that too. I mean, your ammo for your regular weapon, good, plentiful, and you can pick up from fallen people or whatever. Your ammo for your anti-Titan weapon, I think, is like 3 shots.
Yeah.
That is very, very limited.
Okay.
So
Unless when you're upgrading, you can upgrade to give your character more carrying capabilities, so you can carry more rockets.
So this work, I mean, obviously this is from some of the guys who did Call of Duty, Modern Warfare. So this is you earn your skill points, whatever, and then in between matches you outfit yourself with, hey, I want to have this perk where I can carry more or stuff like that. Is that
Yeah,
right?
and you unlock weapons. It was pretty basic. You either had like you started out with the assault rifle, and then you could unlock a shotgun style weapon, and then there was a small SMG, which once I unlocked that, I pretty much stuck with that.
Okay.
Were there any I'm trying to go back to the Modern Warfare stuff. Were there any perks like
Oh, like some of the stuff like when you die, you drop the grenade or the.
There is the one perk that I noticed. If you die, you would blow up. Yes.
Okay.
That was one of the perks.
Okay.
One of the perks is you're more have better agility, so the jumping and stuff. And one tip that I will say to anyone playing Titanfall, in your settings, there is a setting to turn always run on. Turn that on. It makes it so much easier to run around and jump and do all the cool stuff they've showed on the video.
you're pretty. I would say, yeah. I mean, I think that's a good tip. And in fact, why it's not in there, I have no idea, because there is no. I see no reason to be
Not running.
not running
Yes.
in this.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, there's no point, because you've got to jump and you've got to move and dodge and try to get up higher ground, especially if you're going to try to take on Titans. I think the other thing that's important is if you get lucky, find your friends, play together, because if you use teamwork in that game, you will win every match.
Okay.
No, it was, man, I had a ton of fun. Obviously, again, at PAX, none of us were doing teamwork. We had
We're
headsets
just trying
on.
to get
Yeah,
a
we
feel
were
for the
just
game.
you have 6 minutes to play, and then it's like, yeah, it was herding cattle, really. It's like, here, come in, eat your meal, get out. Come in, next 8 people, eat your meal, get out, whatever it
Yeah.
was. So it was, you didn't have a lot of time to really work through everything. So you
Yeah,
had to
you
try to take
can
in
find the
as-
nuances of the characters.
and you try to take it in as much as you can in the time that you have. And so I did a lot of wall running, did a lot of jumping. Jumping by jumping, I mean if you're close to a ledge, you can jump up and he'll grab to the top of the ledge, pull himself up, and you can keep going. It was very Mirror's Edgy in that way.
Okay.
And
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
When you got to play that, did they just kind of throw you in, not knowing how to control it, and they just kind of threw you into it?
yes.
Okay. The one thing that I don't know, I don't think I heard Bob. I listened to the show and I just couldn't call in because I was not where I could call in. The nice thing is in the alpha, and I hope they do this when the beta comes out, there is a tutorial that you start with before you even go into the game.
Okay.
And it's almost kind of like Halo-like tutorial. Remember in either Halo 2 or Halo 3, you kind of started off in the chamber.
Yeah.
You check going up and down, looking left and right.
Yeah, the typical first-person shooter tutorial on how to control your avatar.
Yeah, because when I first started the alpha, the first thing they did is they throw you into a simulator. And so they first teach you how to use your squishy, as you call it, and you learn how to wall jump and do all this, and then they give you an obstacle course. You run through it, and they time you on it. And they make comments like they gave you a gun, and they said, shoot this many people. And I shot 6 people in a row without taking any extra shots. It says, okay, you're a person that conserves ammo. We'll remember that. I don't know what that's for.
Right.
I don't know if it's just to say, hey, but it might be something when the game comes out.
It might be like a character
perk
class.
to give you. Yeah, who knows?
Also, keep in mind we were playing it back in September, so there probably were some aspects that had not been implemented, and we were playing a demo build of this, so it was very bare bones-ish for what we had to play. And of course, the only thing that we had on how to control anything was like a little card that was laminated and taped to the to the desk, where it's like,
Spare
here,
no
you know,
expense.
a picture of a controller with the
button layout.
with the button layout, you know, and you've got that much time, about 6 minutes, to acclimate yourself to a game you've never played before. This is one of the things that I like and don't like about things like E3 and things like or especially things like PAX, where it's open to the public, but you only get, you know, about 6 minutes with a particular game to learn something that you've never learned before, or that you've never done before. So, Stephen, if you can hold on, I'm going to put you on hold.
Sure.
And hang on with us. We're going to go to a break real quick. When we come back, we have a buddy of mine calling in, and he was going to call in a couple of weeks ago, could not make it, and he's also calling from out of the country. So I want to get to him real quick before his phone bill goes up. But hang on, Stephen, and we will be back with more of In-Game Chat in just a bit. And welcome back to In-Game Chat. The music, as we were going to break, was... it said Chrono Cross. You thought it was Final Fantasy.
It's kind of the same thing. But yeah, no, it's Chrono Cross.
And this music is from a title called Lost Cities.
Oh.
We're going to go through and
could
get
be
all
why.
this. RJ sent us a ton of music, and we're going to go through and get all this music out and freshen things up a bit. But
Okay.
before we do that, we're going to go to the phones right now. Ian Angus is on the phone. Hey, Ian.
Hey Scott, how's it going? I think the music going into the break was the victory music from Chrono Trigger.
Chrono
Yes.
Trigger.
So
Thank
Yes.
you.
If I'm wrong, but I'm calling it Chrono Trigger.
No, you're right.
Voice.
Man, he's so helpful. This guy, I met Ian at Criterion Studios when I went there back in, was that in 2010?
Yeah, probably something like that.
Yeah, 2010 is when I met Ian. In fact, I have a highly embarrassing story to tell for myself. Nothing for you. I did not have a converter that would fit their electrical outlets.
Oh yeah, because they're 220.
Yeah, I didn't have anything to fit that to charge my phone and my laptop and everything else to use in the hotel room that we were staying at. And he went and got me one. I had mentioned this. We were there all day looking at Need for Speed.
Pursuit.
Hot Pursuit. Yes, that's what it was. We were looking at Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. God, I'll get to that in a minute. But I'm going, I mentioned that I need one, and he goes off and finds one. And as we're all leaving, he comes around the corner. I'm going down the escalator, which is a big escalator that they've got right in their lobby. And he's coming up from the top and saying, hey, I got this. And my brilliant self decides, I'll turn around and go up this escalator that's going down. Stupid. I trip and fall
Of course.
up a down escalator that's moving, completely embarrass myself, skin my knee or whatever, but, anyway,
Ta-da!
that was my introduction to Ian. So,
If only we'd have got that on video, you could have been a star on YouTube.
maybe at the time, I don't know. I don't think I would have enjoyed that. I felt you got to understand, man, I was at Criterion Studios. You worked there, but it was a dream of mine to be there. I looked you guys back up for Burnout 3 Takedown. I looked you guys up on like Google Maps because there was no Google Earth at the time, I don't think. I was just trying to find, I was like, where is this place? I want to see if I can see it. And I looked up whatever address was available that I had, and I was like, I want to go there one day. And every how many years later, man, I finally got the opportunity. It was a huge, huge deal for me to be at Criterion Studios. And so for me to fall up the escalator, I thought, oh, great. I've just embarrassed myself in front of the celebrities that I have admired for so long.
Well, you say you made a memorable first impression.
Possibly.
At least
I think he was the only one that saw it at that time. So how you been, man?
Yeah, good, thanks. I'm glad you like Burnout 3. That was the second game I ever worked on there.
I love that one too. That was a great one.
That was a big deal. That was the first.
Yeah.
That was when EA was like, "Sure, we'll agree with you, Microsoft. We'll use Xbox Live with you guys." You know.
Yeah, I forgot about the whole Xbox Live thing.
That was because EA was all like, "Nope, you got to use our servers," and Xbox Live was like, "Well, we got our own thing," and they couldn't, for whatever reason, they couldn't get things worked out, and they finally did, and got it worked out. And Burnout 3 Takedown was one of the first that made it there. In fact, I think it's Burnout 3 it's Takedown.
They have signed?
Yes. Well, it's something I bought off of eBay. Because Spike TV, I think it was Spike at the time. I'm not sure if it was Spike back then or not.
G4 TV before then?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
They did some contest for the VGAs.
Mm-hmm.
And this person won like a ton of stuff. And one of the things he won was a copy of Burnout Takedown. The box was signed, the disc was signed, and it was in the shadow box type frame. And some kid won it, and I remember watching when he won it, and I was like, oh, man. He had like a Halo 2 standee that was autographed, and I didn't care about that. And there was a couple other things that were autographed. I did not care, but he had that Burnout 3 Takedown, and I was like, man, that is so cool. And I don't know when it was, but it popped up on eBay at some point, and I was like, got it. And so it hangs on my wall now.
Yep.
Along with my copy of Burnout Paradise that got signed by a ton of people when I was there that day at Criterion.
Ah, cool.
I
I was the lead gameplay program on Burnout Paradise back in the day.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. What did we do? Oh, when I got the new car and posted it on Facebook or something, he's like, "Hey, have you hit any? What was it you asked? Hit any? What was it? Have you? I don't know. Hit any? Oh God, what are they called? Barrel rolls. Have you done any barrel rolls with it yet?"
Barrel rolls in it, yeah.
I was like, "No, I can't find the reps. Or the ramps." He's like, "You should try. You should look for them at Angus Wharf in
all the names in that game are named after people that worked on the team. I saw all sorts
Really?
of conspiracy theories about every single one is somebody that works on the team.
Webster Avenue.
Yeah,
Huh.
of course. But,
Those were.
Yeah.
See, that's cool to know.
No, I knew that, but from
didn't.
Burnout 3 Takedown because they named the crash zones.
Mm-hmm.
Not after. No, most of them did get it named after the team, but team members could come up with the name. In fact, there was somebody else that I knew who worked on that title. I think. I know he worked at Criterion, but he does not work there anymore. He went and did independent stuff, and I'm trying to remember his name.
Adam Sorkin,
That is him. That is him. He and I talked a lot. We met through LiveJournal because I was posting all these things about Burnout Takedown and how much I loved it and everything else, and he noticed it, and we started talking, and it was just it was an amazing thing for me to meet somebody for the first time who had worked on a game. This was one of my first brushes with a game developer type situation, and he said, "Yeah, we're coming up with names for some of these things," and I sent him a ton. Of different just whatever stupid puns that could be used for the crash zones. And I think it was taken. It may have been Revenge. I'm not exactly sure which one he worked on, but I want to say that one or two made it in.
Nice.
But I can't remember. I didn't get any credit for him, and I was fine with it. I didn't care.
No,
I
but
was just like, But I knew from being such a fan of Criterion and following them on Twitter and everything else, I knew when I saw some of the names of these streets, I was like, oh, these are people that work for Criterion. And when I met you, I never actually made the connection, your last name and Angus Wharf.
Well, there you go.
Especially with how much I played that thing.
The opening sequence, it's the first place you're told to go to.
It's,
to pick
Angus
guitar
Wharf.
up.
Yeah.
Quite happy with
How
it.
did you get that title? How did you get that? Did you get to pick?
No, it was kind of a bit random. I can't remember now. A long time ago. If you look in all the like any signage that's art work, that there are lots of references to people's names as well. There's an Angus boat hire in there, and like for one example, there's a Huntley tool shack, and the guy Mark Huntley was the tool programmer, or things like that. There's all little references that you might not pick up on if you're just blasting through at 200 miles an hour.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That was great. I'm a huge fan of Burnout, and I always wanted to get him on the show. And then when they got to EA, it got very difficult to do that, to get interviews. Plus the fact that you guys are, what time is it where you're at right now?
6 hours.
Oh, it's going on for 1 a.m. pretty much.
Yeah, that was some issue trying to get you guys on the show to do that. So, and now, sadly, it seems Criterion is a shell of its former self.
Well, yeah, I left there a couple of years ago now, and it's a very different place, I think, from the one I left. But there's a lot of really talented people still working there, so whatever they come out with, you can't write it off. Always keep an eye on what they're doing.
Oh, no. I never do. I'm always looking forward to whatever they're doing, even when they sort of gave their blessing, or not really gave their blessing, but when they had a bunch of people go over to Ghost to make Need for Speed, what is it now? Is it Most Wanted? Rivals, that's what it is. Jeez. I can't keep up with the subtitles, man. When they made Rivals, I was like, okay, this has a lot of Criterion guys work into this. So, I will support it, and I will look at it, and hopefully it's good. And I really enjoyed it. I haven't played too much of it, but I did enjoy what I played.
Excellent. Good.
So,
Right.
what have you been playing? What have you been doing?
I know, that's kind of what, I thought if I ring you, I always have some sort of point to make, and it's kind of, I don't know, it's the difference between what the games industry and development looks like from like your point of view to the people on the inside, because, you were amazed to get a signed copy of the game, but I got a signed copy of the game just by wandering around the office and getting people to sign it, and I just turn up to the office today and then go home, and it's just a job in a lot of ways. Not remotely celebrities or anything like that. It's kind of an ordinary job, so it's kind of strange to hear like your perspective on what I do, like for a day job. It's kind of
I know. I can understand that, and I sometimes think I come off creepy to a lot of game developers that I'm a big fan of. I get nervous reaching out to Amy Hennig from Naughty Dog, because I am such a fan of hers that I'm like, all right, you send her a text, but don't be creepy. Don't be creepy. Don't be creepy. Don't be creepy. But everything, no matter what it is, even a hey, how you doing, feels like
Stalker.
It feels like, oh God, she's too busy. She does not need to be messed with about stupid stuff. They got too much time, And that's how I feel about pretty much everybody that I'm a huge fan of in the industry. And I was a huge fan of you guys, and I mean I still am, of the Criterion folks. It is oh God, I hate to put it in this because the guy gets a bad reputation, but you guys were the Michael Bays of my video games. You knew how to make car destruction
awesome,
beautiful.
Yeah,
that's quite a coincidence. We watched a lot of Michael Bay films, like The Rock and all that sort of stuff. Oh, was that Michael Bay? No, it was.
No, The Rock is
The
Michael
Rock is
Bay.
Michael
Yeah.
Bay. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. So we referenced his materials, his films and his work. Yeah.
Yeah,
There we go. It feeds back in itself. So.
Yeah, it always felt that way when I was playing. In fact, a lot of the time it was just I'd wreck just to see what this is going to look like from you guys, and that was part of the enjoyment, was just to drive those cars. And you guys nailed speed. No other game, no other series in racing, and I'll throw this on the Need for Speed side as well, has nailed that sense of speed that you guys have.
On the edge of your chair, just like white knuckling it.
From
the controller.
Takedown to Revenge
Yeah.
to Paradise City, man, you guys have nailed that sense of speed.
Yeah, well,
So-
I don't want to come across like a representative. I left 2 years ago, and
I
a
understand.
lot of talented people, big team of, I don't know, people appreciate the size of the teams on these things. Like well over 100 people in a lot of games, everyone doing their own, different thing, and their own contribution to make, adding into all that stuff. So, yeah, my point on it was obviously very small.
Yeah, no, I completely understand, and I knew this was just a little friendly call. I didn't want to get into kind of interviewing you or anything like that about your days back then, but Good God, you used to work at Criterion. I'm not gonna. It's gonna be hard for me to not talk about that. In my whole head, it's just in my head. It's the whole time. It's don't be creepy. Don't be creepy. Don't be
That's all right.
creepy.
No, you don't come across as creepy. You just come across like, I don't know, like an enthusiastic puppy. Like panting with tongue hanging out, like, oh, that's fine.
Yeah,
Thank
it's
you.
just it was a huge deal. That was like I said, to be able to do that, to be able to go to your guys' studio was something that I had wanted to do since Burnout 3 Takedown.
Well, that was a press day from Hot Pursuit, and they wanted to get the game out there to as many people as possible. And obviously, your name was near the top of the list to fly over to come see the game before it came out. So obviously, whoever arranged that regarded your status in the scheme of things quite highly. So.
Yeah, I don't. This was for Colony of Gamers. They actually got in touch with one of our editors over at Colony of Gamers, and he threw something up and said, "Hey, this thing is in like 3 weeks. Who has a passport?" And it's for Criterion. And I said, "I don't have a passport, but I will find out a way to get one so that I can go." And I did the extra like $180 that you can to expedite a passport to get it done in 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
Got that done. Got the time off of work. Yeah, I extended my. It was only for like a day, man. They only had us going up there, fly in, spend the night, go to Criterion, spend the night, get up, leave. That was it. That was the entire trip. And I said, you know what? Now I'm going to make this a whole week thing because first off, I've never been out of the country, never been to London before. So, I extended it by a week, spent a couple of days in London, and then headed over and did the thing over at Criterion. And London's great, but I was at Criterion Studios. That's one of the things where it's like I was there. I was at my. I was at the Celebrity Factory, where all the cool things that I had played had been made, and so it was a big deal. So, man, I appreciate you calling in. I don't want to keep you on too long. I know I know it's late over there.
Quick shout out if anyone wants to follow me on Twitter. It's at IAINANGUS. So hit me up on there. I won't probably talk about anything very interesting about stuff that's going on in my local area, but yeah. Anyway, I'll enjoy the show, and congratulations on getting to 301 episodes now. It's an extreme achievement, so I'll be quite late on the congratulation milestone because I didn't get on last week. But yeah, I listened to the podcast. Obviously, it's quite late to listen live. So
we appreciate it.
And yeah, talk soon.
Yeah, we do appreciate it, man, and we will talk to you soon. Try to get some rest over there, and take care. And I'll talk to you on Facebook and Twitter and everything else. We'll keep in touch, man.
Cheers. Yeah, good to see you. Good.
All right, bye-bye.
Thanks very much. Bye.
See, that it was just a thing, and I always wondered if I came across that way to some of these people as an enthusiastic puppy, as he said. Whenever you talk to the people you're a fan of in the industry, it's a huge deal for me. So anyway, enough gushing. You want to give a rundown of who else is in the chat room? You said we had some more people in there. If you want to run down the roll call again, I obviously can't see who's in because the thing does not update for me.
We got Lavo still in there. Matt 114090. Nadjust. Nadjust. Thank you. I feel like now I'm playing the part of Scott. I'm just gonna butcher your name. Just go.
Which now you get to see how it feels.
Yeah, I know.
People come up with names.
Nathan 92.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Omega.
Do I have to come over there?
Yeah, I think you do.
All right, hold on.
You want to give me the thing?
Sure.
That
hey.
way it becomes my own and not yours.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about it anymore. Omega's Innocence.
Oh.
That wasn't hard.
Mm-hmm.
Omega's Innocence, Stufu, and Tactus 59 in the chat room. So, hey everybody.
Servo and Crow.
Yeah, exactly. Welcome to the show. Let's go back to the phones and get Steven back on the line. Hey, Steven, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, man. We were talking about Titanfall and wanted to move on to just your experience with the Xbox One. Of course, you've played Tomb Raider, correct?
Yes, I have been. I have been playing the Definitive Edition, yeah.
Did you play Tomb Raider non-definitive edition, whatever they want to call that?
Yeah, I played it on the 360. In fact, I think it was the last game I played on my 360 before my wife's brother, his Xbox died. I sold him my 360 because I knew I was going to get an Xbox One.
Okay.
So I think the last game I remember playing was Tomb Raider on the 360.
Oh, okay. Well, we played it. Most of us here played it on the PC.
Yes.
Did you play it? Did you play it at all, RJ?
No, I didn't.
You didn't play it at all. Okay, so yeah, pretty much all of us here played it on the PC. But you've got what has been determined the definitive edition. How do you feel about that? I mean, you're playing
What definitively makes it?
Well, not even that, but you played it on the 360. What compelled you to play it again?
One, I just loved it. I thought it was to me, it was just a great action game.
Yes.
The story was good, but I mean, just the control. I think it was the best controls for jumping and grabbing on and the running and stuff. It just felt so natural to me. I thought it was such a great game physics-wise.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't mean to downplay that as to like, oh gosh, that game is so bad. Why would you want to play it again? I completely understand that. But usually we go back through replays. I mean, you're doing this a year later, so I'm pretty sure you're still familiar with everything, correct?
Yeah, well, here's the thing. The one reason I went back to do it, the problem is, to go back to Titanfall for a second, you play Titanfall, and then you get done playing Titanfall, and you go play Battlefield. It's just so different. It's like, this is not as much fun. I'm like, well, Titanfall's coming out pretty soon. Not a lot of my friends are playing Battlefield. They're still playing Call of Duty, so I'm like, I'll just go trade that in, and I'll go get Tomb Raider and play it until Titanfall comes out.
That's understandable.
Yeah.
I honestly, I could probably, for myself, I couldn't afford to do that. It's not that I'm broke or anything. It's just one of those situations where it's like, I've got this, or you know what? I was completely wrong. I played that on the 360.
Did you red box it?
I red boxed it. You're
Okay.
exactly right. Or GameFly it, one or the other. I remember that because we got a code in. We got one copy of the game, and I handed that over to James because where I was at the time, I could not use it. And I said, well, somebody's got to get on this thing and start playing it because we got to talk about it this weekend. So here, go, take it, and I'll just red box it. So I actually played it on the 360. I do own it now on the PC because there was a Steam sale.
I played it and beat it on the PC.
Yeah, so it would be worth. Well, see, but I've got the PC version now.
But see, even though I have the PC version, I'm still kind of thinking about picking it up on my PS4.
I've played the PC version a little bit.
Yeah.
I got it for free. Someone gifted it to me through Steam.
You got a pretty good rig on your PC then?
Not bad.
Well then, okay. Let's look at that then. Let's look at the comparisons between what is called a definitive edition and then what is called a PC version, which a lot of people usually consider
the definitive-ish,
somewhat
the better-ish.
Well, as far as the looks are
Yes.
concerned, you usually can get better looks out of a PC version than you can out of a console. How was your comparison there? Let's not compare 360 to Xbox One because that's a big difference. Let's compare the PC that you played and the Xbox One. How do those compare?
Well, with my PC, I could turn on the tress effects, as everyone calls, the hair effects. So looking at the PC and looking at the Xbox, I had hiccups on my PC just because it was, it's pretty graphic intense game.
Yeah.
Played it on the Xbox One. It runs smooth. I think they say it runs at 1080p at 30 frames per second. I really didn't notice it that much. I think the game ran great on the Xbox One. I was actually impressed how well it ran. And in fact, I enjoyed it so much, I actually went through this time and did 100% the game, found all the clues, all the tombs.
Oh, wow.
This time I played it all the way through.
What is, do you own a PS4?
I owned a PS3, and I have a buddy who has a PS4.
Okay, cool. I was just curious if, you had a PS4 and maybe had compared the two.
I've seen it on the PS4. My buddy, as I said, my buddy has it, and he's played it on his. He never played it when it originally came out.
Yeah.
So it's his first time going through, and he loves it. It looks great on the PS4. Don't get me wrong. I think it looks awesome on the PS4.
Yeah. I mean, I understand, just, hey, I need something to play just to bide the time between Titanfall. I completely understand that. Somebody asked me the other day in the lobby of the building, the show came up, in-game chat came up, and I said, yeah, I've been, we got that this weekend, we're doing this. And he's like, oh, is it all about, games, that sort of thing? And they're like, hey, what's hot right now? What's the thing? And I was like, you know what, there's not a lot because we're sort of in a dead space, a dead area.
Right, dead zone, yeah.
Yeah, where there's very little high. What am I trying to say? Highly promoted titles that are being released. And I said, March has really got the good ones. March has got some stuff at the beginning, some stuff in the middle, and some stuff at the end of March. So March is going to be a very, very big month. And he said, "Oh, how do these things usually get released?" And I started going through this whole thing. And he's like, "Yeah, they usually ramp up in the holidays." And I said, "Yeah," which they need to get off of that boat and just start releasing when they can. Because you know what? If somebody released something right now,
We would play it so much.
it'd probably do very well.
Yeah.
Just for
Yeah,
the fact
'cause-
that there is such a dead area of nothing, and people are looking for things to bide the time with.
Especially if they bought a new console, they really want something to, like, show me.
I would
the
definitely say,
effects.
especially those new console owners.
Yeah,
Yeah, 'cause
anything.
you buy almost every launch game and you play through them. I bought 3 of the launch games, played through them, beat them. I enjoyed them, but they don't last that long, and then you got that waiting period before the next big thing comes out.
Now, what was your reason for going Battlefield 4 on Xbox One over PC?
Just I had some friends playing it, and
Is that how it works? Is that how it works for you? Is to where your friends go for stuff?
yeah, and it was a pretty big divide with some of my friends when we were trying to decide on the new console. The Xbox and the PS4.
Oh, and so I'm guessing that the majority went Xbox One.
It was 50-50 split.
So
Pretty much.
So what swayed you?
My experience on the 360 really persuaded me. I had such a good time, and yeah, don't get me wrong, I think there was a lot of things Microsoft did wrong with this Xbox One.
Yeah.
I think they did a lot of things wrong.
We've got a few calls, some locally, some not, but a few guys have called in just randomly to the show over the past couple of weeks and have said, "Hey, what about this 720 1080p thing?" And we've been very, I say we, I'm pretty much the one speaking, and so I don't want to speak for RJ or for Matt or Dennis or James on the show, but we have pretty much been neutral about it. I don't ever want to say that, the Xbox One is better than the PS4 or the PS4 is a much better product than the Xbox One. It really comes down to the games that you enjoy in that sort of situation. Now, if we were to strip them apart, look at all the numbers and papers and everything else, everything on paper and everything that the numbers tell us, it seems the PS4 is the better performer of the console as far as what you're going to get out of looks and that sort of thing. But the difference is not gigantic.
And no, it's not. I think a lot of it has to do with how you feel about features, what you want the system to do for you.
Exactly. Let me tell you, if I were to take Joe Gamer off the street and bring him into a room, and he had never understood all he knew was like PlayStation and Xbox. And I said, here's the PlayStation 4, and I went through some of its stuff and did this. And here's the Xbox One, and I started throwing these voice controls at them, and they worked like really well. I can tell you right now, the Xbox One would be the more shiny object of the two. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and there's a great point. Like as I said, I had friends that chose the PS4 and some that chose the Xbox, and I cheated, and I have 2 of them thinking about maybe trading in because I had them come over when the beta or the alpha came out for Titanfall. I let them play that, and they're like, "This is amazing." They're like, "Might have to trade our system in to play this."
Well, I mean, there you go. Again,
one of the guys said, "No way." He says, "There's no way I'm going to trade mine in." And he's like, "I just can't justify the cost." And one guy's like, "Well, we can trade in the systems. You're going to get so much money in this and that." He says, I might do it. And I think the other reason is, one of the comments is the Xbox, to some people, feels a little more futuristic. I just said the voice controls, when they work. I haven't had as much problem with the voice controls. I think, for me and my wife, we've enjoyed the voice controls. It's worked well. I think getting adjusted to them, once you get adjusted to them, and it's sad you have to get adjusted to them, but once you get adjusted to them and know how to talk to it, it seems to work so much better, especially like switching with the TV. I've learned it's better if you don't pause. Like if I want to watch ESPN, I say, Xbox, watch ESPN2. And it pretty much every time will go exactly where I want it.
Well, like I said, I know that aspect of the console is so gimmicky, but I can't help but feel this weird giddiness whenever I'm talking to it, and it's doing
And it works correctly?
and it's doing exactly what I'm telling it to, and it mutes or it pauses or it plays or it goes to mail or it goes to my message. You sent me a message once, and I logged in, and it said I had a message. I was like, Xbox, go to messages, and took me right there. I said message 1 or whatever it was, and it popped yours open. And it was just, it's a tiny, tiny thing. It really is. It's almost a non. It's almost a non thing,
Yeah, but how cool is it when you walk into the room, you say Xbox on, and all of a sudden your TV comes on, your stereo equipment comes on.
I know.
Your cable comes on, and you sit down, and the thing sees you and says, "Oh, hi, Steven, welcome back." It's like that friendly buddy that's, and ours, I don't turn mine off. It's on constantly.
Yeah, I had a buddy of mine come over to check out the Oculus Rift, and this guy is not a gamer by any means, but he's a big home theater type guy. And I said, while you're here, I want you to say Xbox, and then I want you to say the word on afterwards. I had to do that so that it wouldn't come on. He's like, Xbox on, and it powered up everything, and the guy's face lit right up. And he was suddenly surprised. I said, okay, watch this. Xbox, go to Netflix. And it went to Netflix and opened it up. And then I said, Xbox select, and it highlighted the different options I could choose on Netflix. Brave and the Bold and all this other stuff that I'd been watching. I said, resume Brave and the Bold. It started playing. I said, pause, rewind, fast forward. It did all these different things. I was like, okay, Xbox, go home. And it went out, go watch TV, go to this. I was just showing him all this stuff. And he is not a gamer, but he wanted that system.
And that's the thing. If you show your friends, and it's just like my wife loves it. She thinks it's awesome that she can sit down next to me on the couch and say, "Hi, welcome back to her," and then she'll say, "Xbox, go home," and it knows it's her talking, and it switches to her stuff, and then she can go do what she needs to do.
See, that part I don't know about because it's just me. So I don't even experience that part of it.
Well, see, my wife's a gamer, so we're both gamers. So we're both using it all the time. She likes the fact that gold is now on one console, so we don't have to buy 2 gold accounts, so she can use all the gold stuff too.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice.
It is. Like I said, I mean, this is why it's hard for me to recommend one over the other, because it's really, man, there's some personal preferences involved in these things. The biggest problem that I have, if somebody really wants to know, and again, it goes back to a Joe gamer who really hasn't followed everything about what's going on. Their question really comes down to price, and this is where it's hurting, because I'll say, well, yeah, you're gonna have to pay $100 more for your Xbox One, and then if you want some of these features that I've shown you, you're gonna have to get Xbox Live.
Right, and that is a problem for some people, and
yeah.
I understand that.
It is. So
because you're looking at $100 more, and then on top of it, you have to look at your Xbox Live Gold, which I don't have a problem with Xbox Live Gold. I've had it for so long. I think I've been a member for, I think my thing says 7 or 8 years. I love Gold. Plus,
yeah.
Is there things? I mean, if you want to, you can go through, and there's things I wasn't happy with Xbox One. The fact that your party chat didn't work very well. Of course, it sounds like with the update, that's going to get fixed.
Oh, they are getting. I forgot about that. They are getting that update, and I just know that party chat's one, and I know you'll get a controller battery indicator.
That and my other problem was the storage thing. It wouldn't tell you how much storage you were using. Like to delete a game, you had to go into your. I think you have to go into your My Games. Then you got to go to that game, select that game, and delete it. Mm-hmm. But you still don't know how much is in there. Yeah. And now they're putting a patch out for that, which is good. Those are things that needed to be fixed. They say they're going to fix the voice commands. Hopefully they do.
Yeah,
I think they're pretty good now, but I think they need work.
Yeah, that was my that's always my thing about this is like, man, I love the way it works. It's got room for improvement, but so far this thing is great. And it's more about the potential for the improvement that could come from it. Especially with your TV integration. And your voice commands.
And I know it's $100 more, and I had a friend say, "Man, it's $100 more." I said, "You know what?" I said, "You're like me. You try to exercise and stuff." I said, "I used to on the 360. They had I think it was a Nike workout program. I can't remember. They did some with Nike. There was some fitness program.
Mm-hmm.
I have to say, with the new Kinect, the Xbox Fitness is one of my favorite things on there right now. It gets me motivated. Since it launched, I've lost 35 pounds, almost 40.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because it gets me motivated every day to get up and exercise.
Well,
which I didn't think it would do, but it works so well. And it's just the little touches you notice the big difference of. Like if you're moving side to side, you can see on the screen, you can see that it's targeting those areas and it's noticing you're shifting your weight different. And if you're punching harder, I do have some problems with the fitness thing. I've noticed that some of the fitness programs, if they weren't built specifically for Xbox One, the motion doesn't seem to work. There's one on there called Mosa, and it's got multiple different. My favorite one is Mosa Fights. It's specifically built for Xbox One. In fact, when you start the program, it says, "Welcome to Xbox One. This program's been built for your Xbox One." To me, it does the greatest. When you're using it, it picks up everything.
Okay.
Yeah,
I haven't
used the fitness stuff. I've got it some of it downloaded because I would like to try it. I am trying to be a little bit better about my health, but yeah, that was another thing. Again, Kinect has opened up a lot of possibilities that I didn't have when I had a 360 because I never had a Kinect while I had a 360, and that's one of the things. We talked to Twisted Pixel last week, and I said that's one of the things I want you guys to do is to port over Gunslinger into the Xbox One because I'd like to play it. I didn't get a chance to because it was Kinect only. And
I don't think I ever played that one either.
Yeah.
It was one of those games that sounded interesting, but I never got to play it.
Again, it goes back to I only got to play it at PAX. It was one of those situations where I only got to enjoy it at one of those things. I only got to enjoy it for about 10 minutes, and that was it. But anyway, we've got to take a break. Stephen, thank you so much for calling in. I do appreciate it and giving us your time with Titanfall and the Xbox One and, of course, Tomb Raider Definitive Edition. So.
And thank you guys for all the entertainment over the years. I love the podcast. I listen to it at work. It makes my day go a little faster.
Well,
sometimes.
now you get to listen to it at work and yourself. You get to listen to yourself on the show while you're at work. I don't know if that'll be entertaining to you or not. I have no idea. But we appreciate you calling in. We appreciate you listening, and we're gonna get some gaming in sometime. So we'll definitely.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Anytime, buddy. Anytime you want to call, just give us a call.
Well, I'm sure when there's big Xbox games come out, I'll give you a heads up.
All right, man. Well, take care.
All right. Thank you. You guys have a good evening.
You too.
Thanks, Tom.
Bye.
Bye-bye. That was Steven, fan of the show, and he's on my Xbox friends list. And James as well. We actually played with him Halo 2 and Halo Reach. So really cool. If you'd like to be on the show, you can do it. All you have to do is call us. 334-272-9228. Phone lines are open right now. 334-272-9228. When we come back for the second hour, we'll get into that Metal Gear Solid Ground Zero situation. Were you able to look some of that stuff up?
I found some stuff on that.
Okay, so RJ's caught up. Matt knows. And we would love to hear your comments in the chat room. You can leave them there, or you can give us a call, like I said, 334-272-9228. As we go to break, here is music from one of my favorites. It's Pinball Effects. And welcome back to In-Game Chat. Music there from... Do you have a guess?
Puzzle Quest?
You are exactly right.
It's in the chat room.
Oh, there it is. Thanks,
Thank you,
Lavo.
Lavos.
Good job. So anyway, welcome back to the show. This is the second hour of In-Game Chat. You want to get your thoughts or opinions on the way, you can, or on the air, you can call us, 334-272-9228, 334-272-9228. You can also do it by popping in the chat room. It's likely we will see it in the chat room, but it is a given that if you call, we will hear your opinion. Sometimes we'll miss it in the chat room. Sometimes the chat room goes fast, and we will miss something that someone has said. So, but if you would like to join us in the chat room, you can head over to ingamechat.net, and you'll find all the links that you need to get us to get in touch with us. We're on Twitter at InGameChat, as well as on Facebook. And don't forget to email us if you'd like. Everyone at ingamechat.net. That is exactly how Steven got in touch with us to set up the phone call for tonight. And we've got the cam feed. We are streaming it right now on twitch.tv, which is where you need to go to watch the show and join us in the chat room. Do we have new people in the chat room, Matt?
Let me look real quick.
If you could do that, I always appreciate everybody listening to us.
We have someone who said he's in town here called...
Dead Chaos.
Yeah, Dead Chaos. He's
Thanks
in
for
here.
listening.
Lavos, still Matt with a lot of numbers. Nathan.
Matt with a whole lot of numbers.
Yeah.
He worked hard on those numbers.
All right. Yes, he did. 114090.
I don't know where it's from.
I don't. Dennis is in chat room.
Hey, welcome, Dennis.
Tacitus59 and Zufu.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us, everybody. Going to jump into the Metal Gear Solid Ground Zero situation. I was familiar with it. Matt was familiar with it. And I think it's Zufu that brought it up in the chat room for us to discuss. RJ was unfamiliar, so he spent the last hour. I did not know you were going to have that much time to look it up, but he spent last hour getting caught up to speed on everything. So, situation is that we're getting a Metal Gear Solid 5 this year at some point, correct?
Yes. That supposedly.
Before we get Metal Gear Solid 5, what is it, Phantom Pain?
Phantom Pain, yeah.
Yeah, we're going to get Metal Gear Solid Ground Zeroes.
Yes.
Which is a prequel or a prelude to Metal Gear Solid Phantom Pain.
Yes.
It's like an introductory thing. I don't really know. But from the gameplay that has been reported, it is about 2 hours.
Yeah. About 90 minutes.
90 minutes or so. We don't know if that includes cutscenes. If you guys are at all familiar with Metal Gear Solid, you will understand that cutscenes can be extremely long.
About 90 minutes.
And plentiful as well. So I am unclear on that. There may be some clarification out there, but about 90 minutes to 2 hours of gameplay for Ground Zeroes. And the way they're releasing this, which I think is in March, is the 360 and PS3 versions are available digitally only, correct?
Digital only.
And they will be for $20.
The next gen one.
The next gen digital version is $30.
$30.
But the next gen disc version is 40.
Yeah.
Is $40. Does this apply to PC? I would think digital. I don't even know if there is a PC version.
I doubt it.
If there is, it'd probably be digital as well.
I would
because
think so.
I know like MGS4 wasn't on PC.
No, and I don't think there is.
I think the only PC Metal Gear Solid so far that I could really think about off the top of my head would be Revengeance.
Yeah, and that is not.
And that's just brand new.
That's Platinum Games.
Mm-hmm.
So that's so. Anyway, that's the situation. $40 for a disc-based game that's only about 2 hours, hour and a half to 2 hours. $30 for the digital version of that. We've talked on this show at times, and I wish James was here because he probably would remember this better than I would. But we've talked on this at times, and we don't really like to equate the money you spend with the game time. Like if you spend $60, you should get a 12-hour title or a 12-hour game. Mm-hmm. If we really want to equate that, then let's look at something like Skyrim, Fallout,
Dark Souls.
You're basically ripping them off by paying $60 for those games. If you want to associate the amount of time you put into them, depending upon the amount of money that you spend, you should be spending way more if that's the case for something like Skyrim or something like Fallout.
Yeah.
I don't really like to do this. I don't like when this is done, but I also don't like to tell somebody that, don't spend your money. You do whatever you want. Just be educated about what you're doing. That's all.
Well, for the especially for the disc-based, next gen one, I was talking with RJ about it during the break about how it reminds me like that time, about the 2 hours and stuff was like Metal Gear Solid 2 demo that came out with the Zone of the Enders. It was about that, that length of gameplay, but that was just a demo that came with the game, or as Lavas said in the chat room, they sold you the MSG2 demo that had a free copy of Zone of the Enders.
Free copy. That was essentially what that was.
Yeah, so most everybody did it that way.
But you know how I did that? I rented it.
Yeah.
Because it was on the disc.
And then, you got that. But some of these, rental is a different beast now. Completely.
Rental is completely different now. You could go into your Blockbuster. I almost called it Best Buy. You go into your Blockbuster, and they put the demos on the disc. There really wasn't a sense of. They knew that this would sell the game, that it would be a help in selling the game, but just like with Crackdown and some of these others, where they put your ownership of this gets you into a beta later on down the line. Only if you have that activation code.
Yeah.
So it's completely different now than what it was. However, this is a what am I trying to say? It's getting its own release.
It's a standalone.
Yeah, it's very much a sense that you probably could do a rental of it if you've got any kind of Redbox nearby. If it becomes available to rent on a Redbox, there are some limitations on those things. But I don't know. Somebody in the chat room, and I can't pronounce the right. Jakai2 says $60 for 2 hours is a terrible deal. Maybe it is. Maybe it's not.
It might be some of the best 2 hours of Metal Gear that we've ever played.
It's a terrible deal to you, and I'll give you that. And for me personally, I think that's a terrible deal as well. But I'm not at liberty to tell somebody to say, hey, that's a bad idea. You shouldn't be spending your money on that. If you want to, go right ahead. It's your money. If you've got the, I hope, the funds that are available to you, your budget. You're getting your money's worth. If you feel you are, you go right ahead. If you feel that you're not, and this is what I'm doing for Metal Gear Solid, is that I know that when they release Phantom Pain, they will release a version that comes with Ground Zeroes attached to it. That's probably how I'll pick it up. I don't know how they'll do that, but they'll do it in some way.
Dennis in the chat room said that one of the main issues with the price versus the time thing is that Konami is defending their position with the length of the game, comparing it to things like Dear Esther and Journey. But those games are currently on sale for like $10 as opposed to the $30 and the $40. So yeah, they're smaller, shorter games. Going home, nice little. Those were fun titles, but they weren't the same price point.
Yeah, Konami shouldn't defend the length. I mean, if they want to, that's fine, but they shouldn't defend it by comparing it to anything like that. Metal Gear Solid, Jesus, you can't compare Metal Gear Solid to something like Dear Esther.
No.
You can't compare that in gameplay. You can't compare that in time. You can't compare that in style.
Anything.
There's nothing you can compare that to. That's a horrible comparison.
Okay, is it safe to say that for all intents and purposes, Ground Zeroes is a demo for Phantom Pain? Or a prequel?
It's a prequel.
It's a prequel.
Some will argue that it's a demo. Some will argue, I haven't played it actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I really haven't read much on what it equates to for anybody else that has played it.
Is this more of a chance for them to basically, if they have to wait for Phantom Pain a little bit longer, they want to get something out just to get people's teeth into it?
Let's look at GTA 5 Prologue.
Yeah.
Which released, I think, for $30, and it was one track.
Yeah.
And a couple of cars.
Just to get the buzz, get to people,
just to be like, here, you can have this, but you got to pay for it until we get your game out.
Yeah.
And I didn't hear a lot of complaints there. And I hear a lot of people bringing that up as wow, look at how they're.
This is a GTA 5 demo that you're paying $30 for.
Or I didn't mean GTA 5.
Gran Turismo.
Gran
Yeah,
Turismo.
yeah.
I meant GTA
I know
5.
yeah,
GTA
GTA 5.
yeah.
I didn't mean GTA 5. Sorry about that. So I
I
don't
knew,
know.
I knew what you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Personally, I've never run across this. I've never come across a dilemma like this that I've had. I'm a give or take on Metal Gear, man. I want to play the main game. I'm not too concerned about this.
I'm in the mindset of I like Metal Gear, but I'm not paying this money for a demo.
Yeah,
Sorry, not doing
it's
it.
never seriously. It is. I've never been in a position of feeling like I am not getting my money's worth, because my main decision on that is, yeah, I don't want to pay that much for what you're offering, so I'm not going to buy it.
Yeah.
It just doesn't feel like a conflict to me. But is it good business? Maybe is that the question that we're trying to ask? What are we asking here? Is this justified to sell it at that price?
People will buy it, so
I don't know if it is or not.
it might be for them because they know that if we do this, then they're going to get money
As
opposed to waiting.
There's no justification to anybody who wants to buy it. That's their own deal. Anybody that wants to buy it, that's their that's up to them if they want to do it. What I'm saying is, it justified for them to sell it at that price.
Yeah.
Regardless, let's not turn that into people are going to buy it or not. No, is it justified to sell a game
That short a time for that price.
that is that short a time for that amount of price? I don't know.
Just by default, I just want to say no.
I do too.
Because that's a lot of money to throw down for.
When I saw the price comparison and the time length spent and what it really is, it's just no. The first thing in mind, I know.
What is the price for you? What is the price?
What
What would you buy this for? I'll just look at you, Matt. What would you buy this for? How much would you pay for this?
I would pay $20
So then why not get it on the previous systems?
because I want something to play on my new system that I spent so much money on.
And do we know if your save from this game carries over?
Yeah. One thing I do have to say that I do like that they're doing is the price difference between download and disc copy. Because I know it costs more to make a disc, to make the CD covers, all that. There's more manufacturing involved in disc copies. So, but I do like the fact that it is going to be cheaper on the download. So I will most likely get it that way just to save some money.
Mm-hmm.
What's your price? What's your price of entry for something like this?
I wouldn't go over $10.
2 hours. 2 hours. 2 hour gameplay is good for $10 for you.
I wouldn't pay over $10 for this.
Does that go for anything?
Well, for
Or
this
just
case, I'm thinking about this game in particular. I wouldn't go over $10 because I don't know of any perks or benefits or what type of thing I would get for the main game when it comes out later. I mean, there's got to be something you've got to give me more than 2 hours of an experience, like
With
like
no
Sister says.
carryover.
No carryover at all.
Possibly. We don't know yet.
So,
But like if there is no carryover, then yeah, it's
You're
so is this essentially just like the prologue? It's like I said, a prologue to the game, like chapter 0, really.
ground zero.
Yeah, I
pretty much.
suppose.
Yeah.
Now you're pretty much beat around the bush, and kind of no nonsense kind of guy, RJ. So let me see if I can find an example to put this in. Not that you'll understand it, but something that may sway you.
Okay.
And I think this has been done
Okay.
by Capcom for Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Did they not do this? Did they not release skin packs or something like that? Those are non-essential, though.
No.
Those are non-essential things. Let's say they released an expansion to Street Fighter that came with.
Well, they kind of are actually. I'm thinking about Street Fighter 4 Ultra coming out later on. It's going to be an expanded roster and tweaks and whatnot.
And how much?
That's I think it's $30
For a download, or for that? Is that disc based?
I think that's the disc. I think the download is $15.
Wow. And how much new stuff comes on that?
Balancing issues with all the characters.
That's fine, but you said a new roster.
I think four new characters are going to be coming out with the game as well.
Which way are you going to? Are you at all interested in that, or is that price too high for you?
No, I'm getting that because I want to play in tournaments and play with other friends of mine, so I will be getting that.
Yeah.
But see, Metal Gear would be an experience just for me, myself, and I.
Mhm,
I wouldn't
I
be playing with
understand.
other people, so I'd have more benefit paying that much for Street Fighter as I would for Metal Gear Solid, because that's a single player experience.
I completely understand that. So, it's hard to compare the two because you do have an online situation against a single player experience. So, I don't know. I can't look at the consumer on this. If consumer's somebody is that big of a fan. Look, man, Criterion, I'd be in the same boat if they did. Hey, and I think that they did. They released Big Surf Island for like $15, which is an add-on to there. I didn't care. It could have been 30, and I would have complained, but I would have paid it because I really want to play it.
Yeah.
So I can't look at a consumer of this and say, hey, you're stupid. Don't pay this. No, you do whatever you want with your money.
If you like it, you like it. Have
yeah,
at it.
and I ain't gonna judge you for it, man, because I've spent more for less on stupid stuff. I really, really have.
Or that talk we had about Last of Us, that DLC coming out later on. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think anyone here was planning on picking that up, were they?
I am.
You are?
Yeah.
You know anybody else?
I don't have any. I don't.
Is that the same vein of this conversation as well? Because
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't know. How much is that price for the DLC?
I haven't even looked it up yet.
Oh.
I just know it's coming out soon.
I think it's 15.
But we don't know how
Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's $15.
how long is that? Do we know how long that is?
We don't know yet.
I mean, we talked about it only for the fact that what are you getting out of it? Because it's a prologue. So is there really any sense of? There's no sense of. It's like, oh gosh, what's going to happen to Ellie? Nothing. She's gonna get by. There is no. Is there any kind of sense? I mean, if anything, you know what's going to happen to her friend. Probably.
Yeah. But by that same point, though, I know what's going to happen to Darth Vader when the prequels came out, and I still watched those. Just because it is a prequel, and you know what the story's going to be.
How much did you pay to watch that?
Movie. Well, over the years and the many
I'm
times
saying
I
it was
bought
a movie.
the movie.
It was a movie. So you paid
Yeah.
what? $6?
Yeah, but
For a 2.5-hour experience?
yeah,
Okay.
For
You're
that
about to
one-
pay 15
for that one
bucks.
show.
You're about to pay $15 for maybe
knows?
a 2.5-hour experience, maybe more. We don't know the
Yeah.
time on it yet.
But to me, the journey, even though I might know where I'm going,
That's
it's,
understandable.
that it's the journey. It's how you get there.
And that's fine.
And one thing you know as well as I do, Naughty Dog has proven time and time again they know how to tell a great story.
They do.
So I know I'm gonna be entertained with this good story.
And sadly, that is the reason I am not picking up the DLC, because they told a fantastic story.
Yeah.
And I just kind of want to leave it at that.
Oh, I could totally get that.
I honestly, for me, I just want to leave it at the story that they told, and not. I don't want to revisit it in a sequel. I don't want to revisit it in a prequel. It is completely self-contained with what I played in that experience, and the last thing that I want left in my mind is that experience that I had. I don't want this new experience to replace that or to be the last thing that I remember from that game.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Well, and it's not about being broke or anything like that. It's just so good. It was really, really good. And so I'm skipping that. But I don't know where I sit on this as far as, are they right for charging this much money for something like this? I don't think they are. If the market demands it, or not demands it, but if the market will bear it, and people buy it, that's fine. I'm a little bit nervous about that in the case that it may open up the
More.
Yeah. May set a precedent.
It could lead into that.
Yeah.
So, don't know. It's odd, sort of going back to Microsoft for the launch of the Xbox One, before they started reversing their policies. I didn't necessarily want them to fail, but I wanted them to hurt a little bit.
Yeah.
Get a little heat for all the decisions they made.
I just wanted them to have a lesson learned on some of the aspects, and then there were parts of it that I wanted to go through, because I wanted to see if that could change things and the way things were done. And I specifically mentioned that digital store, the whole complete digital thing. But I kind of wanted to see, and I sit there a little bit now, and I look at Konami for releasing this, and I kind of sit on that same situation where I don't necessarily want you to fail, but I do kind of want this to blow back because I don't want to see this become a regular thing. I don't want to see. They've got a few things going for it. This is Metal Gear Solid we're talking about. It's a huge, huge franchise. Halo could do this.
Right.
Who's another one? World of Warcraft could probably get away with it.
Yeah.
Metal Gear Solid, I believe, can get away with it. I think that they'll be fine. But there's some that can't. There's some publishers or there's some game franchises there or titles that I don't think could get away with doing something like this. But what are some other big?
Call of Duty.
Yeah,
That's a big one.
Call of Duty could get away with this. Grand Theft Auto could get away with this.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy, maybe.
I don't know. That's a good one.
See, I'm not sure about that nowadays. Back in the 90s, I think definitely. Final Fantasy just seems like the past, maybe that's just me, but to me it seems like the past couple of years or decade or so, it's sort of taken a hit, and it's not as in everybody's mind as it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
I think we just kind of moved on in our sensibilities from that. The majority of players have moved more to Western design than the Japanese RPG design.
Yeah, I don't know. It's ultimately what I come back with is just this is as a consumer, it's your decision.
Or they could go the totally opposite way and be like mobile apps where it's a free game but with transactions, and people end up paying like over a couple $100 in these little microtransactions that they don't think about.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
could you imagine that one?
No, it's because I do that all the time. I buy plenty of free things that are online that are very microtransaction heavy, but I don't buy what they're selling.
I've known some people that
I take their free stuff and I work with it until I'm bored, and then that's it. What was the one that we played a lot? That I was playing a lot of with some friends. Was it called Tiny Planes or something like that? God, I can't remember the name of it. But it was basically the guys who did maybe not Game Dev Studio, but I can't remember. Somebody in the chat room is going to remember. But free to play. But you could pay like $5 to speed up this to happen, or pay this, and I was like, I didn't need any of that.
Yeah, I know the format.
I just set it, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna Simpsons tapped out. Here's a good one.
Okay.
It's city building, Simpsons, that sort of thing. But if you want certain things, you have to spend money in the in-game store to buy credits to buy those things.
Right.
And that was fine. Or you could sit there and wait and wait and wait. I had no problem waiting.
Mm-hmm.
I went in daily, did my stuff, logged out, and the next day in 24 hours, which is how long you usually had to wait for things to cycle through, they would be ready, go through, collect my money, start it over again, close it out, boom. It was just a daily activity I had to do. Mm-hmm. And I never spent, that I can remember, any money on those things. I never felt compelled to.
I've known people in Candy Crush have spent like anywhere from $200 to $300 on the microtransactions in that.
And that's fine if they do.
$300, yeah, just $1 here, $1 there. This candy hammer, or whatever. These little things, extra plays, all these kind of things. But like, you don't think about when you're just like doing it one here.
Yeah, $1 to $2 at a time.
Yeah, but 300 times later,
it's all nickel and diming yourself.
It really is. So I mean, at least they're not doing that.
But that's Zufu says, when I spend money on a free-to-play game, I feel dirty. Exactly. When it's a free-to-play game, I take you at your word. This is free-to-play.
Yeah.
I don't need to spend any money on you. You are free to play. And so...
And I've actually kind of been turned away from some of these. Like, I was really excited about MechWarrior Online, but I haven't even played it yet because the whole free-to-play thing, and, it ends up being where people are buying... wins by getting the better mechs, the heavier chassis and stuff. So,
You bought that win, instead of earning,
Yeah. So I
Pay to win instead of free to play.
this ultimately comes down to if you're going to buy it or not. If you are, that's fine. Hey, if you do, call us. Let us know. Because I don't know. Are you getting it day one?
Maybe not day one. It depends on.
It may not. Yeah, it depends on when it's released. Because March is a rough month for you.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
There's a certain point in March where it's done.
Yeah, or if not March, the very beginning of April. But I'm gonna be busy regardless, getting ready.
Yeah.
For my little trip.
And I'm not doing it.
Most
RJ's
likely
not
no.
doing it.
Probably not.
Dennis, from what he's talked about in the chat room, ain't doing it. And
I doubt James.
I am quite sure James won't be doing it, but he might.
Yeah.
Dude might surprise. He bought the prologue.
Yeah.
He brought GT5 prologue.
Yeah. You know, I might just, maybe that's one thing we could do is like everybody pitch in and.
No. No.
Okay.
I am shooting that down right now. No.
Just an idea.
No. No. I am not doing it.
Well, then I might get it on disc and then, while I'm gone.
What?
Well, while I'm gone, if you guys want to check it out, research.
Are you a big Metal Gear fan?
Yeah, I
Okay.
have. I mean, I even picked up on my on the Vita. I picked up the Peace Walker and the whole collection. 2 and 3.
Yeah.
I have I have all of them. I was thinking about getting that the PS3 Metal Gear anthology with all of them, but I already have the HD remake one.
I have that.
See, I have the HD. If they were in HD, then I definitely would have. But I think the only ones I don't have are just it's like the two listed at the very the very bottom. So
Yeah.
I have them all. Otherwise,
Well, Flinks is in the chat room says that Path to Exile on the other side of this coin is a free-to-play game and done so well that there is nothing that I want. However, I want to give them money because the game is fun.
okay.
Okay.
And that's great.
I've seen that too. Just like with the Humble bundles and some other things, like I'll get something digitally and I enjoy it so well. I'm like, you know what? Here's some more money.
There's another good example of, that's interesting. What if they did, there's a thought.
What's that?
Imagine the good Konami would do if they released this as a demo that you could pay what you want.
I'm all for that plan. I've seen musicians have done that, where they even have it where it's free. Like I think it's 9 Inch Nails and Smashing Pumpkins. They've done stuff like that. Like, here's the new album. It's free. If you want to give us money, here's how you donate and stuff like that. And 9 times out of 10, people will be like, I like this. Here's money.
Mm-hmm.
And usually, some people give more than if you would just buy the disc. So
That's an interesting
you
thought.
always get like people that like, oh, I want it for $1.
Yeah.
Sure. But then you'll get other people like, you know what? I'll give you $50 for it.
I know, yeah. I mean, you do see some of those, especially when charity's involved. In fact,
Oh,
EA,
yeah.
when they did their Humble Origin bundle, said, you know what, we're not taking any cut of these. Of course, it was older games, well, with the exception of some. We're not
Yeah.
taking a cut of these. Everything either goes to charity or goes to the Humble Bundle folks.
Yeah.
For hosting this, and you can split it any way you want. And they made a killing
Mm-hmm.
off of that.
And but some people do the bare minimum to get whatever games. But then I was looking at the top donators, and there's some people there like $100 some odd or so.
I know it's huge, and because charity is involved, and because they want to show the goodwill of, hey, we like what you're doing, and this is how great it works. So, anyway, we're gonna take a break, and when we come back, we'll have the last segment of in-game chat. Don't forget, you can call us. 3 lines are open. You want to give your opinion in on this whole Metal Gear thing? 334-272-922. I'm curious what the price point is for you. Let's just take it as a 2-hour game. What is the price point that you're willing to pay? And does it matter what game it is? Does it matter what franchise it's from? Does that affect your decision making? I'd be curious to hear what your thoughts are. 334-272-9228. Head over to ingamechat.net. You can find out all the ways you can get in touch with us, and you can join us in the chat room at twitch.tv. Just look for us on In-Game Chat. We'll be back in just a minute. Here is music from N+.
killer. The mind.
Welcome back to In-Game Chat. Music from Res HD. I'm keeping that one in there for whatever reason. I like that.
I like
too.
it.
I like that too.
It reminds me of Wipeout in a way,
God, I haven't played a Wipeout game in a while.
but it kind of gives me that feel.
Yeah.
You got that
Yeah.
for free.
Zufu says in-game chat needs to go free to play. Dennis says no more James till everyone coughs up $1. That might be a good thing to do.
Oh, gee.
No.
For next episode, at least.
Look, me and James are going to E3.
Yeah, you need money.
We need the money to cover our flight and our hotel costs. So,
Food.
We'll be fine on our own for food.
Yeah.
If we can get the flight and the hotel covered, we'll worry about ourselves for food.
I wish I could go this year.
Yeah, dude. No, you can't.
Because like last time I did, it was 99. It was like me, James, Jeremy.
yeah, you guys
and
went to
some others.
Atlanta.
No, that was the first time in L.A.
Oh, you guys went to L.A.
Yeah,
You guys
98.
all flew out to L.A.
Yeah, 98 was the last time in Atlanta. And I went. That was my first E3. Then
Yeah.
99 was the first time in L.A. And yeah, we all flew out to L.A. And that's actually where I met Jeremy at.
Man, it is tough to get in.
Yeah.
I mean, so we'll talk about this. I registered and James registered, and they sent us both back things that said, "Hey, sorry, you can't get in. Your website ratings aren't good enough to warrant you getting in." I said, I didn't register us as a website. You asked for a website, and I gave you one, but I registered us as broadcast media, which is what we are. I hope they're not listening. Hey, they can revoke, man.
Yeah.
They can revoke. They did it before.
Maybe we should wait till after E3.
Probably.
Have the
That's
story.
fine. You know what? You get public out. They don't care. Ghost Bear over at Colony of Gamers registered last year and got in. No problem. Somebody else at Colony of Gamers about a month later finally, had the time and got their stuff together and registered through E3. And they asked him a question about something. He responded. And they said, no, we can't let you in. And then Ghost Bear got an email from E3 that said, we're sorry, but we can't let you in either.
Oh, man.
All right, what are the qualifications?
What are the qualifications?
Uh-huh.
No one knows. For website, it varies between different media. If you're a website, you have to have a certain number of unique views during a certain time period. They do not release that time period. Because obviously then you would pad
Game the system.
You would pad the views on whatever the time system is. And I don't exactly know what it is, and they don't give you the amount of views that you need. But let's just arbitrarily say that you need 10,000 unique views in the month of December.
Mm-hmm.
That gets one person in from your organization. If you got 20,000, that gets two people in. So now that's for web-based situations.
Right.
I don't know what the criteria is for broadcast media. Because they've never rejected me as broadcast.
Mm-hmm.
They've rejected me on the basis thinking that I was applying as a website. But we're not. We applied at broadcast. And every time that I corrected them on that, they said, "Oh, well, let us reevaluate. Let's go back and look at this." "Oh, okay. No, you're good. You can come in." So I don't know what it is for broadcast, which is exactly what I had to do this time. This is the third time in a row that they've rejected us because we didn't have enough website views. And it's like, we're not a website. We got one, but we're broadcast. And then they're like, "Oh, wait, okay. Sorry." And then they've let us in. So
Weird.
I know.
Whereas like before, like back in the 90s, it was just like, oh, you have two legs and want to go to E3? Everybody come in.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we gotta think of some fundraisers to come up with, and if people want James on the show, then yeah, we'll hold him off
Ransom.
until we'll hold him for ransom until people can cough up the money to get us to E3. But
Meanwhile, RJ has to go on the epic rants.
Well, I'm very excited that somebody from the show is going to be going with us.
Yes.
Or going to be going with me, because I don't know what year this is for me. I think it's my 6th or 7th year of going, and it's always been, as far as in-game chat is concerned, it's always been myself. So it'll be great to have James come along as well. So, but James will be back on the show, not next week, but the week after next. He'll be back with us. And we'll have James back in the studio. Next week, Matt is not here, but it'll be me and RJ. We'll both be here. I am trying to line up a couple of interviews. And in fact, I don't think he's in the chat room, but Nabokov fan has been extremely helpful on Twitter. Every time he talks to a game dev or somebody like that, he throws our name to them and says, hey, you should talk to these guys. So gotten a lot of prospects, a lot of people who we may have on the show next week. Who have been talking to Nabokov about us and to come on the show. And also next week I'm going to try this. I haven't actually talked to him about this, but I'm going to try and get Jason on from Adhesive Games. They make Hawken.
Mm-hmm.
Hawken's a game that we really loved from even before we got back on the radio here. I think we stopped the show once to look at the trailer for that thing just because it was mechs and it was cool, and then we just liked what we saw. And I think we're going to try and have him on next week. They are getting released on Steam. Oh, by the way, they're a free-to-play game.
Yep. I played the demo back in, that was
No,
fun.
you played the real game. You didn't play
that
the
was
demo.
okay.
Yeah, because
But I didn't pay. But I didn't pay $40 for it.
It's free to play.
How do I know if it was?
I know. No, it's a free to play game, and right now they have locked out anybody. You can't. They've locked out their signups because they're making the transition. But before you could go to Play Hawken and download the client and all this stuff, and it's great fun. But now they're getting a Steam game, or Steam. They're getting released on Steam, which should explode their audience to a number of different people.
Yeah, people that normally wouldn't have known about it or seen it. Or
Now, I haven't played it enough to really comment on the free-to-play aspect of it, to comment on if they're, if it's one of those situations where you do need this free-to-play is free to get in.
Yeah.
But everything once you're inside costs money to do. I haven't evaluated enough to see that. I've got some credits from just playing the game myself. I've got quite a lot of credits, and I'm not sure if I can buy some mechs with that. I really haven't dived into the thing to figure that part out. But you may be talking to him next week. So
cool.
What is everybody? Have you been playing anything? We talked before the show.
Well, I was planning to play Wolf Among Us, but I haven't downloaded it yet, as I said before.
Yeah.
Other than that, more Street Fighter.
Well, you're preparing.
Yeah.
You've got a tournament coming up.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good that you're doing that.
Mm-hmm.
When is the tournament again?
Mid-March for a final round.
It's final round in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm. Final round in Atlanta.
You will be there. It's over a weekend, so you'll be there
weekend, yeah.
during the show.
3 days of tournament play.
I don't know what your schedule is yet. Do you know what your schedule is? You don't know that schedule yet. Hopefully we'll get a schedule down, so either you can call into the show and kind of give us an update, or, and I hope it's this. I hope it works this way. It'll be broadcast on Twitch, and we can watch you.
Okay. Well, if I happen to be on a station that
we could watch you, or we could watch the team. I mean, is this an individual experience? Or are you going to be on a team, or what's the situation?
It's just a bunch of folks going, but it's all individual play is what I'm going in.
Yeah, but we got some local folks.
Yeah,
it'd be great to support them. So
yeah, I can get a roster of everybody going and get the list together and see what's what.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I cannot wait to see what the schedule is and see when you guys are going to be playing, so we can get that up there and get that out for people to. And hopefully, like I said, it's broadcast on Twitch. We can watch and either see you if we can, or at least see somebody from the group who all's going. So I think it'll be great. But yeah, so Matt, have you played anything at all this past week at all?
Nothing
since
really.
Last. Well, you know what? We didn't get a chance to talk to you last week because of the whole 300 episode situation of anything that you had played in between the time that we had spoken to you since you'd gotten back.
Is
that a big nothing?
Yeah, I'm trying
to... Well, no. You did tell us you took your Vita, I think.
Yeah, I took my Vita, yeah. And I think I may have mentioned it briefly that I beat the Uncharted on the Vita.
Yeah.
Golden Abyss, and that was fun. I had a good time with that one. I did Hotline Miami,
Right. You mentioned
and
that.
yeah, played through that one. And I got a couple of the Final Fantasies and Chrono Cross and Chrono Trigger as well. You know, some of the Square RPGs, and so I have those always, and I just play it
Yeah.
here and there.
I have been. I played Wolf Among Us episode 2. Like I said, I won't go into spoiler territory on it. It does resolve the cliffhanger from episode 1.
Oh, there's a cliffhanger.
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
Oh, good. See, I really want.
not spoiling
I know.
anything by
I
telling you,
really
there's a
want to get
cliffhanger.
into. I really want to finish that game because I played a little bit of it and I really enjoyed what I played.
But I mean, it resolves it. I mean, it doesn't resolve it as in you found out part of what happened, but you know that still opens up the door of you know.
'Cause was it like 5 episodes altogether?
Yeah.
So they still have to have stuff to carry over the other.
Yeah. There's still an overarching story, and the cliffhanger. I will say this: the cliffhanger is resolved. Not the story, but the cliffhanger is resolved.
Okay.
Cliffhanger is extremely specific as to what that whole situation was. But yeah, they resolved that, and I really enjoyed episode 2. Here's another question that you could ask. The first episode released in October, the second one released in February. That's a 3-month wait in between.
That's usually longer than, like the Walking Dead's. Walking Dead's were usually, I think, 2 months.
See, I don't
In
have
between?
a template to go on that because I played Walking Dead all at one
Okay.
thing.
I did the season pass.
Yeah, see, I didn't
and
do
usually
that.
it was about a 2 month in between.
Because I still had a bad taste in my mouth from their Back to the Future situation, and I thought, well, I don't know what they're doing with Walking Dead, but I'm going to give it some time, and, the thing exploded. But yeah.
Did we ever mention how often the Telltale was like burning the candle on both ends, how fast they get stuff out, and maybe that was some of the reasons why some things had issues that it did?
We talked about a little bit that maybe they're taking on too much than they can
that was
carry.
it.
But what do we know, man?
Yeah.
We don't know the workings of that studio. We don't know how many people they've hired. We don't know how many people work on their. I have no idea. I have no idea what their situation is. Yeah, I can't tell you. I have no idea. I don't know if they've hired more people and that's what's going on. I don't know. We look at the optimization of their engine and how broken it is for a lot of people. And we can point to that and say, look, spend more time making these right than working on these other games. But who's to say that they still don't have the same team that they had back when they were releasing the others?
True.
To say that, hey, why is it broke now? If you've still got the same people working on it. I can't say that it's that way. We've heard enough horror stories from the gaming industry to know that, or at least I have from talking to these developers, is that they do burn the candles at both ends. These teams work really hard to get these games out, and they work almost exhaustively to the point of not seeing families.
Oh, yeah.
It's horrible schedules.
I mean, you always see at the end of the credits, like, babies born during, this period.
that's
So,
because it's
it's a long time.
Yeah, that's
so
because it's a long.
there's
it
a
takes
lot
a
of
long
things that
time.
they miss.
They miss a ton of stuff, and I know from the people I've talked to when Last of Us was going through its development stage. Those guys had deadlines to meet, and it takes its toll. So, yeah, I don't know, but so I'm not sure exactly the situation with Telltale. If they brought in new people and said, "Here, you're going to go work on the Game of Thrones license. You guys that did Walking Dead, you keep doing Walking Dead. Wolf Among Us, we've hired a brand new team. You guys work on Wolf Among Us and just keep working on it." Well, why are things broke? It's a big question. Why are things broke? As far as me, I did play Wolf Among Us episode 2. I went back into, or started going back in, something I didn't talk about. Again, because of our 300th episode. I played a fantastic game that I was not... It's one of those things where it's like I own it. I have no idea. I probably bought it as sale. I don't know what to expect from this, but it was surprisingly fun and great. And it's called The Swapper.
Yes.
Yeah,
That is a lot of fun.
I streamed that a couple of weekends ago, and meant to talk about it on our 300th, but it was our 300th, so I never got around to it. But boy, that's a great game.
Yeah.
I have only played the very littlest bit of it, but I love the concept and I love what it is. It takes place in space, and that was. You should go back if you go to our Twitch channel. You can see where I played it, and you can listen to me gush and sound like a kid at discovering something fun. You know, it's like, I don't know what this is. We're gonna play it. Who knows? And this is great. Because it turned into a puzzler, and I was like, this is my thing. It was wonderful.
The atmosphere.
So this one of the games you had no idea about at all. You just
Nothing.
I saw a little
blind.
bit of it on Steam. I saw a video of it, and I'm like, okay, this thing's interesting.
I never watched the video. I only saw the screenshots, and I thought, that's interesting. So,
but by the screenshots, it just looks kind of
well
to me. But I saw the video. I'm like, all right, this looks kind of cool.
I don't remember See, that's the thing. I don't remember watching the video, and when I started it up, when I started, somebody had suggested it. I think it was Kyrie. Somebody suggested on Twitter to play it, and I started playing it, and I thought, because it has this. When you start it up, it's like, this seems like a scary game.
Yeah.
It's got the
very alone, very.
Yeah, it takes place in space, and it's got. I was like, is this a scary game? I don't know.
Am I gonna be running from aliens?
I didn't know. I didn't know what to expect, and then it throws this puzzle aspect, and I was just, heart. It's like, it's giddy. Like I opened up something for Christmas that I didn't expect, and there it was. And it was something I wanted. It was so great. I did turn on subtitles. I always play with subtitles on. For anything that I play, especially stream, I turn the subtitles on so that people can read them if they're not listening to the audio. But yeah, that's a great game. I cannot recommend the Swapper enough. It goes on sale quite often. So if you're a fan, if you're a fan of puzzlers, man, that's a great one to get. But I've also been, like I said, jumping back into Arkham City. The reason I have is because I've done all the challenge maps in Arkham Origins, especially the combat challenge maps, which is what I enjoy.
I've watched you do some of those.
And I'm jumping back into Arkham City. I have to play through it so that I can get the unlocks to the abilities that I need to maximize my scores in the challenge maps. And to unlock challenge maps, by the way.
Yeah.
So that's why I kind of have to go through and replay all this again to unlock those abilities and to unlock the challenge maps so that I can play them. So anyway, that is going to do it for us, folks. We are done. We want to thank everybody that called in. Ian Angus, all the way over from England. Also, Stephen Titanfall, who called in to talk to us about that. We really appreciate everybody who called into the show. Thanks, everybody, for joining us.
Everybody in the chat room?
I was getting to that. Thanks for everybody in the chat room for joining us, and everybody listening on the stream or on the radio as well. We want to thank everybody who grabs us every week from iTunes or however you get our show, whichever way it is. It could be from our YouTube channel, and we want to thank you for tuning in there as well. You can go to ingamechat.net and find us on Twitter, Facebook, and our forums at coloniagamers.com, and subscribe to our YouTube channel and our Steam group. We're all over the place, and you can find everything you need to know at ingamechat.net.
I love this song.
This
classic.
Go ahead, tell them what it is.
I don't think you even need to.
Okay, might as well. We will see you guys next week. Thanks. Good night.